Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a special birthday reading for the sign of Sagittarius. What is going on, Sagittarius? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, Saggies, welcome to your birthday season. Happy birthday to you if you're celebrating here at the tail end of November or later on in the month of December, whenever your day is, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, whomever you're with. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you are surrounded by people who know and love you and care for you, and it's just an amazing time, okay? If you are going to be going out, welcome to 2020, right? It's still very much a situation that we all should be taking very seriously. So if you are going to be celebrating your birthday with other people who don't live with you exclusively, please be very careful. Take all the precautions necessary to keep you and them safe, okay? And again, just overall, happy birthday, guys. And also, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all those things that are coming up here at the end of the year. If we don't get in touch, not like I'm going to talk to the entire collective of Sagittarius, but if I don't say it at a later time, I want you all to have a wonderful time as much as you can, even though 2020 has been kind of crazy, kind of challenging, kind of a shit show, right? But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it, Sagittarius. Anything you want from me, it is already in the description box. You have the timestamp down there, information on how to purchase a personal reading with me down there. If you have any questions before you place an order for a personal, just email me at the same address you see listed there, and I will answer you as soon as I can. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, the name is EmpathicFire Tarot there. Now, little explanation, because I did change this since the last time I did a birthday reading for you guys. So what you see before you, you've got 5 Kipper cards placed on the table. Each of them are acting sort of as an anchor card to a specific area of your life, which we're going to use 3 different tarot decks to clarify with, okay? So this first position is your mind, what's going on in your mental body, what's the key focus of that or the anchor energy of that at this time during your birthday season. The next is going to be your body and or your wellness, what's going on in your physical world, what's going on with your health, sort of, kind of. It's a loose term health, and we'll see what comes up, and we'll get better information as we go along. And then the third position is going to be what's going on with your spirit, what's going on with your heart space, what's going on with your emotional body, all those ooey gooey feelings and all that good stuff. Or, woo-woo feelings, if you want to go with it for the spiritual side. The fourth position is going to be talking about your purpose. What is the central focus or anchor of your purpose at this time? Even if you don't know what your purpose is, the central focus will be discussed at that point. And then the fifth position is talking about any soul connections that you have in this life. So soulmate, karmic partner, twin flame, what have you, any and all of the above, whatever floats your boat. But we're going to talk about a central focus there as well, okay? So we're going to go in that order, and let's just go ahead and get started with the first position, which is your mind, your mental capacities at this time. What's the central focus of your mental body right now for Sagittarius during their birthday season? Let's see. Bad health. Well, poopy. Not what I want to see. And by the way, this is the Kipper deck. It's a fortune-telling deck from, I believe, Germany. I think it's German origin. So for those who might be unfamiliar with what this deck is that I'm using. Card 31, add that together, that's a 4 for bad health. Well, I mean, on its face, you're thinking about your own health or the health of others at this time during your birthday season. For some, I mean, I am getting, and I mean, as I mentioned in the opening, 2020 is upon us. And 2020, please don't tell me that this autofocus is not working again. One second, let me check. Let me check this really quickly. Or do I have to pause it first? No, it should be working. Let's click that. Click that. And hopefully that fixes it. Sorry about that. But yeah, 2020, and I don't even need this right now. 2020 at this time, for many people has been very, very scary, very, very, hazardous, you know what I mean? So that could very well could be a part of your storyline at this time for yourself and or your loved ones. You're thinking about your health. You're thinking about possibly, since I'm seeing, obviously what's on the card, someone in the hospital or some type of facility for rehabilitation or nursing or something like that. So that very well could be central focus to your mind right now. It's heartbreaking for some of you because, these stories have been on the news, and I did hear about someone that I know, like a friend of a friend, who, they just were not able to say their last goodbyes to relatives. And, there's no way to slice it, Sagittarius. That's a very sad, and my palm is now itchy. So I don't know if that's a sign for anybody else. But, that's just, unfortunately, the nature of the situation at this time for someone. Not everybody, of course. This is still a general collective reading, as there are multiple Sagittariuses where, maybe one of you will have one portion of the message or the reading go for you, and then like others of you will have another portion. So take only what resonates. But in your mental space right now, the wellness of yourself or the wellness of others is very important. And I'm also getting, even though that's not what's there, there's like a little cabinet here, or like a little like side table or something. And it's not that, but it gave me, like, when I glanced down at it, it gave me like a mini fridge look. So I'm thinking maybe some of you have issues. Like for me, mini fridges always scream like college student. So there could be a concern over somebody who's in college right now, or, whether or not they're able to return home and stuff like this. So let's just go ahead and clarify with the tarot so we can get a bigger picture here. So why is bad health the central focus of Sagittarius's mental body at this time? Why is this the central focus, the anchoring energy of Sagittarius's mental body at this time? Please show me. Why is this the central focus of Sagittarius's mental body? Thank you. All right, let's see what comes out for you guys, okay? Bad health. Why is that the central focus at this time for Sagittarius? Show me. Thank you. 1. And 2 and 3. Okay, so the first card that came out, oh boy, was the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. And then we had the, can't even talk, Hierophant, Major Arcana for Taurus. You don't have to be dealing with one, but you could be. And the Hermit, Major Arcana for Virgo. You could be dealing with a Virgo, but you don't have to be. So altogether, Sagittarius, this really feels like, I feel not many, maybe many, I don't know. I feel really kind of strange using that word at this time. But I feel like some of you have lost a very central figure in your life. And granted, I did mention 2020 before the tarot came out. I should amend that because, I want to open it up, because it doesn't have to be about someone who's passed away recently. This could be someone who has passed away or fallen ill a long time before now, sometime before the calendar year of 2020, right? So it feels like someone very central, someone very much the anchor or the crux, the cornerstone of your family or your friend circle, right? And if they're not passed away, as the Kipper card indicates, they might be in bad health at this time. And I feel as though there's a shift happening that you or others are not necessarily prepared for. I feel this 9 of Pentacles in reverse is not really being able to bring stability or balance to a situation. The 9 of Pentacles normally talks about independence, talks about being able to provide, especially for the self. And, sometimes the 9 of Pentacles can be seen. Why won't it focus? Why? God, it's going to bother me. And I feel bad for mentioning it in the middle of your reading. There we go. I was too close, maybe. Anyway, it signals stability, particularly for the self. But 9 of Pentacles can provide for others, assuming that doing so would not deplete their energy. And it feels possibly some of you are in that space of you weren't there for this person in their time of need, even though they were there for you in your time of need. Whether or not, again, this person has fallen ill or passed away recently, that's all going to be different for each of you, for those who resonate with the message. Some of you, no one's passing away, no one's ill, but maybe you're worried about it. But for those where this is like sort of a first-hand account, a first-hand experience, or something that's fresh in your mind, fresh in your emotions right now, or just something you're thinking about. Maybe this is an anniversary coming up of someone passing away, or you possibly in your own life. Maybe this is an anniversary for when, you survived a certain illness for some of you. But I'm feeling there's a regret here. There's sadness here with that Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, in that not enough was done, not enough could have been done, being unavailable at this time, and not, I suppose, feeling inadequate is another thing that we can get with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, because like I said, when it's in the upright, Nine of Pentacles speaks to stability. When it's in the reverse, not so much, right? So inability to keep things afloat, inability to show up, because what follows, well, all of this is earth energy, pentacles, and then you have the Hierophant and the Hermit card. So all of that is earth-bound energy. So there is possibly, you know, unfortunately, a story for maybe one or two of you where you just didn't have the time, energy, or money to really provide for another person. Time, energy, money, yeah. Or just other material resources, okay? And this Hierophant and the Hermit, I feel, speaks to the person that could not be... Ooh, wow. They want me to say could not be spared. And for some of you, maybe it's not a person. For some of you, it's an animal, because I'm drawn to the cow that's down there sitting next to the Hierophant. So for some of you, this is about an animal very close to you, a pet perhaps. Okay. And because it's a cow, like I'm even like getting this vibe of like somebody who works a farm or owns a farm, and possibly you have cattle or like horses or sheep or something like that. And one of those animals or several of them may have been very special to you. Okay. And so the Hierophant sits as this central figure, which pulls focus. You know, the Hierophant is a very commanding figure, typically in tarot. So if we are talking about a person or an animal, a lot of pull was generated by that person or animal. What do I mean by this? Like attraction, like being around them was a good time. Spending quality time with them was always fun or enlightening, or you felt, for lack of a better word, smarter, quote unquote, smarter to know this person, or they you. And again, I mean, well, you could be watching this if like you're a cross watcher, or you share the same sun sign with this person as a Sagittarius or something like that. Because for some, this is how people feel about you, but that's a really more not complex, but convoluted way to read the card. So I just want to try and keep it as this has happened to Sagittarius, but keep in mind, people could be feeling this way about you. Ah, I did mention the word regret. That could play. People, that happens a lot. People pass away before they can make amends with the people that they're leaving behind. Does that make sense? So for some of you, this is someone who's passed over and they regret not showing up for you. They regret not having the proper resources, time, energy, effort to spend towards you. And they may feel as though their life, why did I say that? Their life was cut short, or the time between you was cut short. Does that make sense? That's very interesting. This person also, and for some of you, this person isn't anywhere. They're not passed away. They're still here. So, you know, if you want to give them their flowers before that happens, do that. Okay. If you want to make amends with someone before things may possibly take a turn for the worse, do that. But I also get the sense that you or this person is super spiritual, because this combination of the Hierophant plus the Hermit, and because of that Nine of Pentacles in reverse. I mean, I feel this person didn't want for anything, or does not want for anything too extravagant. I feel altogether this is like a low-key vibe. Like this isn't someone who's like, not in all cases, but in some, they're not really interested in the material. They're much more interested in the intangible aspects of their life, or the life and entanglements they have with other people, right? The connections they have with other people. But this Hermit energy by itself, thank you, speaks to healing, speaks to soul searching, soul searching, speaks to kind of grappling with the darker sides of ourselves, the places that you know, we bury our secrets or we bury our pain and things like that, and really kind of getting rhyme and reason behind it, or doing some healing work behind it, because we realize, oh, even though I've repressed this thing or suppressed this thing inside of me, it still affects me, right? So the hermit seeks out seemingly painful or uncomfortable, thank you, seeks out uncomfortable realities or realizations in order to overcome them. Okay, so again, going back to this idea that some of you have had a person who has passed away in your life, whether it be recent or a long time ago, and that person may have died with a lot of regret on their soul. Ooh, heavy. This is heavy. I was right to pick the selenite today. So Sag, it feels like no matter how you slice it, the wellness of yourself or others is the central focus of your mental body at this time. Despite this being a birthday reading, and you know, I equate birthdays to more celebratory energies as it starts. I think you're really sort of remembering or lamenting, or let me tell, well, I want to tell you, the energy doesn't feel like the connection that you have with this person, whether it ended on bad terms or good, whether you're both still here with us, but still on bad terms or good terms, that doesn't matter. The context is really not wanting to regret anything, you know? So if there's a chance for you to bury the hatchet with someone, this might be a necessary thing. Well, not necessary. You might feel compelled, or they might feel compelled to do so. Because I get the sense, again, with this Hierophant and this Hermit card combined, as well as with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, there is sort of like this spiritual leaning going on with you or them or both of you, where, you know, nobody wants to live with or die with regrets, is how this feels. Kind of a dark start to the reading. Let's see if there's anything else that we can get. Again, resources are either a problem or they're just simply not available. Like, there might be a little bit of expectation with the Hierophant in the center there, of people showing up, giving to this person in their time of need, but not everybody shows up. I'm getting a little bit here. I'm getting a little bit possibly, because Hierophant can talk about tradition, talks about decorum, talks about what is expected in a situation, what is predictable in a situation. And I feel this Nine of Pentacles is showing lack, and the Hermit is not showing lack, but it might show reluctance. It might show, like, if this was a family thing and we're making decisions about what to do after someone passes away, or what to do in order to continue care for someone who needs, going back to the imagery of the bad health card, who needs possible hospitalization or rehabilitation or something like that. And literally, those are decisions that people make. And, you know, I'm not saying it's a-okay and or anything like that, but I know it's more common than it should be, especially here in the States, where we make critical decisions about our loved ones' health and their wellness based on money. And I feel that there possibly is an expectation for everyone to show up and chip in or provide, or one person to step up and do the provisions for this. And that person or group of people, they're not able. Okay? So we might be having to make serious decisions based on money regarding someone else's health. Does that make sense? Based on material, based on availability, right? Okay, so we're going to stop that because, you know, it could go simply down a long rabbit hole there. Wow, interesting. Okay, so that's the mental body for you guys done at this point, and we're going to move on now to do the physical body, or yes, the physical body, or your health and wellness in general. Thank you. So, what is the central focus at this time? The anchor energy for Sagittarius, mental body, physical body, or your health and wellness. Main male. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay. So, Main male, and this is again the Kipper deck, so it's a little bit different than tarot. So some of you have a very strong masculine figure. Dare I say, just a guy. It doesn't have to be technically, because it's still a general reading, and well, all readings that at least I do, and I think most other readers do, we go out based off of energy, right? So whoever this person is, they have a strong masculine vibe. That's the point. Masculine energy does not always have to be strongest in males, but because the Kipper deck is slightly different, I'm going to say it's most likely a guy in your life, okay? That could be your boyfriend, that could be your husband, that could be your father, brother, uncle, all the things, okay? This person, since this is your physical body, your health and your wellness, they could be a trainer to you. They could be someone who's helping you on your journey of wellness, whether that means, okay, and very interesting, they're like, this could be a pharmacist, very strongly, they said that to me. This could be a pharmacist to you, or so your doctor or anybody else who's helping you in those more, I don't want to say traditional, but, you know, somebody who's writing scripts for you, somebody who's putting you on a diet plan, but they're not, you know, giving you workouts. You know, there's somebody who's like, I want that cholesterol to come down, things like that. If it's not, they're directly helping you in your health area, like in that direct way of being in that line of work themselves as a medical professional or a fitness instructor or something like that. Did I show this card to you? I don't think I did. Let's see. What else do we have with this guy? Main male. Could be, for some of you, if you are a Sagittarian male, this could be you. You're the central focus of your own storyline at this time. Or excuse me, central focus of your health and your wellness at this time, your physical body. Interesting. I'm getting like, what's that word? Maturing? Like I'm sensing like a step up energy. So emotionally maturing, physically maturing, so many different ways, but there's something about elevating, stepping up, something like that is happening here. So let's go ahead and clarify. Main male. And by the looks of this person, I mean, moderately, if not pretty stable, you know, moderately stable or pretty stable. I don't see someone who's in a struggle, so let's say that. But anyway, let's get some clarification on this. Why is the main male the central focus for Sagittarius' health and wellness, their body sector at this time? Why is the main male the central focus, the anchor card for Sagittarius' health and wellness, their physical space, their physical body? Why is this the main focus, please? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Six of Cups. Oh boy. Oh boy. And ooh, Five of Swords in reverse. All right. That's interesting. I think the first one came like that. The first one was down, and the other two came up, face up. That was interesting. All right. So Prince of Cups. Water sign energy: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Six of Cups. And then the, what is this? Five of Swords in reverse. So it feels like, this is good. Some of you might be rekindling something. Very, very, very auspicious. That's good. It feels like you could be rekindling something. They don't have to be a water sign, okay? They could be any sign. But the Prince of Cups is a pretty romantic energy, a pretty romantic figure in our lives. Combining that with the Six of Cups and the Five of Swords in reverse, somebody you used to be off with, or you might be off with them right now. Maybe in the future this will come up for you. But there is this feeling of big time reconciliation, because the Prince of Cups often comes in as an apologist, somebody who travels, because you know that's the point of the princes or the knights. They travel, they carry messages, and they have missions. They want to accomplish something. They're finally setting off on a path, and they actually make physical moves, right? So somebody moves towards someone else, or whatever the situation goes, you're moving towards them, if it's vice versa, because again, it is a general. So this could be you doing all the action, Sagittarius. It doesn't really matter. And Six of Cups, you know, in in many readers' estimations, the Six of Cups is a soulmate card. if you've been with me for a while, Sagittarius, you know what's happening here. So, drown me out for a minute. But if you're new to my channel, I don't like to throw that word around too much because I think it has a lot of impact, or it has an impact that I don't intend with my readings. If we work one-on-one and it comes up, it's a different story. But in my generals, I try to stay away from it. So that's number one. And then number two is the list of caveats. There's two main caveats. Soulmates do not have to be romantic. They can be friends. They can be family members. They don't have to be anybody that you're with sexually, intimately, or romantically, or any of that stuff, okay? And the second caveat with a soulmate of whatever type we're talking about is that it does not have to be a positive relationship with the person all the time. Soulmates are not made of fairy dust and, rainbows and sunshine all the time. They're human beings just like you or me. Therefore, they have flaws, they have faults, they have troubles, they have demons, they have all the things, the complexities that most human beings have. That's the whole point of coming here. That's the whole point of incarnating here. So please don't think that soulmates mean they gotta walk on water or anything like that, because it's just not possible. So now that we wrap that up, there's someone here, some of you might be reconciling with a soulmate, a main male, or somebody who has really strong masculine energy. For some of you, this person possibly owns a business, possibly, going back to this card really quickly, some of you, maybe this person is in the art world, because I'm really struck by the paintings on the wall behind him. So somebody who possibly has a gallery, runs a gallery, something like that, or they're interested in art, is an artist themselves, whatever. What? Cards are like breakdancing all over the table. I really feel in many of your cases, it's now when I say reconciliation, by the way, it doesn't mean get back together. It doesn't mean last a lifetime or get back together and there will never be any squabbles ever again. So take that word also with a grain of salt. Reconciliation, like I said before about the Prince of Cups, could just be an apology. So this could be someone making amends with you, or you're making amends with this person. But regardless, I feel at some point there was a very, very playful energy between you and this person, Sagittarius. You guys really got along, like really, really sort of interesting. They're saying spoke the same language. So you guys spoke the same language, whether that means you both are native speakers of different languages and you found a common language to speak amongst you, or you spoke the same languages in like sort of, you could finish each other's sentences and you were like bosom buddies, you know what I mean? And this Five of Swords in the reverse as the final card on the other side of this. Five of Swords talks about arguments, it talks about disagreements, it talks about petty fighting, and it also talks about shallow victories, right? So being on the outs with people for no good reason, it feels like. Could have had no communication for a while. Or you're in no communication now with this person still. But I feel that's really reactionary. Oh! Remember I said about this person, elevate, and what did I say? Maturing. So maybe that's it. Maybe this is like a childhood friend or like an estranged relative that you haven't spoken to for like 10 years or something like that. I mean, if it's 10 years, great. If I hit that nail on the head, perfect. But I mean, like there is something about in the time that you and this person have not been speaking or you've been at odds with each other, either one of you, hopefully both, but either one of you has spent some time maturing. And in that maturation, that brings the bond back together. It allows it to be a little bit more solid, a little bit more grown up. Yeah, grown up. I like that. I feel like there's more to this story than all of this that I'm talking about, clearly. And I think you would know that through context, or you'll know more as the situation progresses. This feels very like that moon there, that moon here, even though one is not a full moon. Moon equals the unknown, in the shadow of night, It doesn't have to be ominous, but it's mysterious. Thank you. That's the best word, mysterious. So there, and Two Cups cards, that could work. That could work. So maybe this person has made a lot of moves since you've not talked to each other. In the time that you've been separated, they've done a lot of changes in their life, or you in your life. And so it's sort of going to be like it's It's going to be like reading. It's going to be like meeting, thank you, a brand new person is what that feels like. And that's interesting in the central part of your health and wellness. So I think for you and or them, this maturation, this maturing was for that benefit. Like to have a healthier body, healthier state of mind, healthier emotions, just better health all around the board. You and or they had to grow up first, had to mature a little bit, had to be ready to apologize. Because that's the other thing is I feel this person, whoever it is, they're very ready. Like before, maybe they weren't so much ready. They were kind of embarrassed maybe. They were kind of ashamed. They really didn't know how to apologize or how to make amends. Whatever the case may be, whatever the, needs to happen or you would like to happen, whatever. It feels like now that someone has done the work on their end or you've done the work on your end, the progress can happen. The steps can be taken going forward to kind of reconcile this, okay? So that's family, friend, lover, ex-friend, ex-lover, ex-family member, or someone you're estranged from, whatever. Whichever way it goes, it feels like the separation, whenever it was, however it happened, was necessary. And now there's a potential to put it back together. That's what that feels like, okay? All right, so that's your body / health and wellness complete. And then the next spot we're going to move on to is the spirit, soul, heart, emotional space, whichever way I'm going to end up calling it and butchering it over the next several minutes. So let's see. What is the central focus of this at this time for Sagittarius? Oh, by the way, main male was card number 1, so that could be a significant number to you. But anyway, what is the central focus? What is the anchoring point of Sagittarius's heart space, their spiritual space, their soul space at this time? Okay. Mature woman, card number 6. That could be a significant number to you. Okay. Well, I mean, we just talked a lot about main male having to mature, and who's up next in the emotional body that we're going to talk about is a mature woman. So this, again, same principle because it's the Kipper deck, so it's a little bit different than the tarot. This could be someone who is actually female in your life. Their gender is female, or someone with high feminine energy at this time in the body of a non-female, okay? Gender is very, very, I don't want to say irrelevant, but it's very secondary. Let's say it that way. It's very secondary when it comes to any type of reading, especially any that I do. Other readers, they read it differently, and that's their business. Now, mature woman, so that would easily translate into mother, daughter, sister, girlfriend, wife, whatever, whoever that is, any female in your life. I'm getting very heavy mommy role, like mommy vibes. Mommy role is what I was going to say. Mommy role or mommy vibes. So for many of you, this will be your mother or your position as a mother. Okay. This person, even though they're showing up as the mature woman, they also have or had some growing to do still. This woman, as compared to what we were looking at in the main male, does look older because of the color of the hair and the slightly higher social stance. Because the main male, even though he looks stable, he didn't look rich. I don't know about you, but main male, he doesn't look rich. Like this Kipper deck, there's richer looking men in this deck besides this guy. So he's stable, but he's not rich. Okay. Mature woman, she look a little rich, right? So this person possibly has really good financial standing at this point in their life, or at some point they had it if they don't have it now, or there's a focus on that because like that's the big thing that's jumping out at me, and I hate that this isn't focusing very well. I really hate that. It's really bothering me. Anyway, I do get the sense that this mature woman possesses. like has a lot of possessions. Possesses as in owns, as in the owner of a business, the owner of a home, owner of other properties, owner of accounts, you know, things like that. Has a lot of grasp on material things, and that's very important to her, okay? Or important to the story is what that feels like. But, you know, there's a big but in there somewhere. There's something about either that's all for show, that's not all true, that's true on paper but not true in functionality. So if this was a business situation or someone who has ownership of a business, they own it in name, but they don't actually do the work. Does that make sense? Like if this was literally somebody who, you know, is the face of a brand. Hi, it's me, mature woman, and welcome to blah, blah, blah. And, you know, please buy more copies of this, or, you know, sign up for our newsletter, that type of stuff. Like it's all face forward. This person doesn't do any of the actual work. That's what this feels like. Okay. In other words, entitled or just a figurehead. You know what I mean? But let's get deeper into it, because I'm a little weary of her. But, you know, that's just how I feel. That does not have to translate entirely into what's going to come out in the tarot, okay? So let's clarify, why is the mature woman the anchor card for Sagittarius's heart space at this time, their emotional body, their spiritual body at this time? Why is the mature woman the central figure here, the anchor energy? Please show me. Oh gosh, I forgot to say that. I'm gonna tell you that in 2 seconds. No. Okay, there we go. Wait, is this upside down? No, it's not. Okay. Come on out. Okay, there we go. 9 of Swords. Jeez. I thought I was shuffling the deck upside down for a second. Hold on. See 2 more, please, on the mature woman. Why is the mature woman here? 7 of Cups, okay. 1 more card, please. There. If you want to come out, you got to be more forceful than that. Oh boy. I knew it. I knew it. I knew we were at some point going to get more than 3. That's okay. That's okay. We take it. We take it. We take it. Okay. So what I was going to tell you, because I realized I skipped it in the opening. So if you're here now, remember guys, I'm going to do a live for you guys. I think I said it was on December the 12th. So a live for your birthday season. Let me double check my calendar very, very quickly. Come on. December. Yep, December 12th, 7 p.m. on this channel. I'm going to go live for your birthday season, okay? I'll announce it again at the end for those who may have missed it. Now, clarifying her. 9 of Swords, 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. So, again, I told you guys I got mommy vibes from this person. So it's either your mother or it's you as a mother or some mother figure in your life. It doesn't have to be your actual biological mother. It could be an auntie, a cousin, an older sister, something like that. Please focus. There it is. 9 of Swords reversed. 7 of Cups. Okay. 7 of Wands. This is a little spicy, this energy that I feel. It's slightly spicy. It's like a sriracha. It's slightly spicy. And then the Wheel of Fortune. It really feels like, friends, you Sagittariuses, if this is your mom or whoever this person is, there's a lot of anxious energy here between the two of you. Either you hold it primarily or they hold it primarily, or you share in it together. But it feels like there's a lot of anxiety over how to proceed and what to do with each other or towards each other. How to speak is possibly a little bit of a prickly situation. How to actually communicate with this person, because I feel either you or they, it's a general, so and I really can't tell because this is a mixed bag. There's a lot of walls. There's a lot of protection, a lot of cold energy, a lot of stuck energy, or like thick energy. Like I feel like, what is that? I feel like they're showing me like a concrete mixer, and well, I guess before it sets, it's not that thick, but when concrete sets, it's a very thick, substance, right? It's very hard. It's hard to penetrate. So that's what this feels like. It feels like whatever this relationship is between you and this person, whoever they are to you, it's hard to penetrate. It's hard to get through to them or them to get through to you. And that would be nice if you and or they could transcend that, mature, and kind of basically get over that. But I don't feel it's really working out that way. Possibly it's been worked on for a long time. But if I'm honest, this feels like a breaking point, altogether. Nine of Swords in reverse. That's no longer being inundated, no longer allowing ourselves to be overrun with quote unquote bad thoughts or unhealthy thoughts. Interesting. But things that make us worry, right? With the Nine of Swords in the reverse, the things that we think about that just continue the cycle of anxiety and worry and possible depression. Okay, that's turning away from that energy because it's in the reverse. Yeah. Seven of Cups next to it and the Seven of Wands after that. I feel as though this is like resoluteness. I'm not going to think about this anymore. But then immediately going to think about it, or immediately diving into the what ifs or the should haves, the would haves, the could haves, and all that kind of stuff with the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Wands. And I'm feeling possibly, for some of you, not all of you, got to highlight that, it's not all of you, but for some of you, that resolute energy from the Nine of Swords is immediately swept out of the way because of the mature woman. Because if you are in contact with this person, which I feel many of you are in contact with this person, or at least you hear about them, or they somehow get messages to you, even though possibly you've created distance or something like that. They still have a way of affecting you, and that effect is confusion. That effect is uncertainty. Seven of Cups, Seven of Wands. That effect is defensiveness. Seven of Wands. Yeah. Seven of Cups. Kind of, it can be dreamy energy. It can be, I don't want to say indulgent, but what do you call that? Like pervasive energy or permissible energy. It's like having a litany of options or several choices and not knowing what to choose. So indecisiveness, but then also maybe sampling is what I'm getting, like sampling the different choices. So like if you have a tray of 7 cups in front of you, it's like literally picking up each cup and taking a sip and still not knowing what to do. So this person either injects that into your life, Sagittarius, or you them, again, it could go vice versa. And that is some way of manipulation and control, or just for the sake of screwing with someone's head. Because mind games can also happen here with the Seven of Cups, with the Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Wands nearby as well. I'm getting the sense of like mind games. So, just to give it a storyline, I don't think this is going to hit for many of you. But let's just say, if this is a mom or some person of influence in your life with high feminine energy, right? But I'm going to say mom just to keep it, legit. Or not legit, but keep it straight. If this is just your best friend, you already know that. So, erase mom and pencil in best friend. So whoever this person is, I feel there is possibly interference from them regarding, back here, main male for some of you. Now remember what these two areas are talking about. This is your emotional space. This is your spirit, your heart, all that good stuff. Main male was in your physical, right? So it could be you physically spend time with main male, but your heart and or your emotional capacity is very hardwired or focused on the mature woman. Meaning, again, just sticking with this mom scenario, could be a friend, could be a sister, I don't care. Mature woman could tell you, hey Sagittarius, main male, I don't like him. I think main male isn't really worth your time. I think main male really isn't, all that great. And I advise, if they're a mom, they might tell you, I command or I expect that you don't spend time with this person. Now, the specifics of your life, Sagittarius. Number one, I don't know if that's the vibe between you and your mother. That's kind of interesting. I don't know how old she is, how old you are. I don't know if you guys how close you are. I don't know what it is, but that's a lot for any person to say. I command or expect or I feel that you shouldn't see this person, because I gotta tell you, this person energetically, what I talked about before, isn't really hasn't we're talking about the heart space and all that kind of stuff. There's no cards really out here that give me that this person has a lot of emotional give a care. Like, they're not very emotional. Let's say it that way. They possibly care. They possibly love you or want to see the best for you. But the way in which they express that is not cool. I'm not feeling it. It's not the worst person in your life, or at least that's what I'm feeling. But they're not the best either. Like, their intentions are a little suspect. Anyway, so the final card here. So I feel you're aware of who they are. You're aware of how they operate, and you're defensive to that. That Seven of Wands feels pretty. The Nine of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Wands feel pretty resolute. The kicker here is gonna be the Wheel of Fortune card. That's secondary major for you, Sagittarius. This is also associated with the fixed signs. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. You could be dealing with a fixed sign or another Sagittarius, or none of those signs at all. It is still a general reading. So notice how these gears kind of mimic like a timepiece, right? I feel you've gone around the clock with this person, around the world with this person, cycles with this person or that person or the both of them, right? This could all be some convoluted, no offense, to your life, Sagittarius, but this could be like some soap opera-y kind of stuff where your mother and your brother or your mother and your husband are having a fight over the wellness of your grandfather. Who knows? There's something here about possibly 3 or 4 or 5 people being deeply entangled. And I feel this person, mature woman, is trying to be the puppet master, but actually isn't. Remember, I said before we took the tarot out that this person feels like a figurehead, that they're out there saying, buy my product, or they're out there kind of commanding things and making the general public, like if it was a brand, like what's that chick? Progressive Flow, like those commercials for Progressive auto insurance. Like, everybody know, like She or like the Energizer Bunny, like those are the people that you think or you associate those characters and those people with the brand. But you don't, if you have a complaint, you don't write to Dear Energizer Bunny, Dear Flo, I'm having a problem with my premiums. Can you send me some more information? No, you send it to managers and CFOs and CEOs and regional people and all this other kind of stuff. You don't talk to the mascot. I feel this person is the mascot. They don't have as much power or as much influence as they pretend to have, or as they used to have. Since it's a mature woman, maybe at some point they did have that power or they did have that influence. And you, I think, are wising up to that, Sagittarius. This feels, again, maturing. As this person gets older, you mature. And that would make sense, of course, if this was like a mother, right? So let's just go ahead and move on. So that was your three body positions. So your mind, your body, your spirit, your physical self, you yourself, Sagittarius. We're going to move on now, change decks, talk about your purpose. Now, I mentioned it at the I don't have words today. At the start, you don't have to have or know what your purpose is at this time, okay? But what is the central focus of your purpose, whatever it may be, whether you are aware of it or not? What is the central focus at this time? What is the anchor point at this time? What is something that you need to consider in the greater realm of Sagittarius's purpose on Earth in this lifetime, okay? Family room. Hey now. Hey now, hey. Your whole reading, and we're changing decks, by the way, so your whole reading, very, very domestic, you know? I feel that's been more implied than explicit, because some of you, this isn't going to be just family. Some of you, this is work. Some of you, this is, friendships across, several different groupings of people, or people that are your friends, but they're only friends at work, shit like that. But most of you, this is percolating around your family life. Now, family room as the central focus of your purpose at this time. Let's see. Again, like, look at this deck, by the way, this Kipper deck is very Victorian themed, or artistically speaking, it's very Victorian looking, Victorian England. There we go. Thank you for the focus. So, I think for you, some of you Sagittariuses, your purpose possibly is to have some type of intervention or some type of family meeting in the family room, in the living room, in the den, wherever you and your family can congregate together. I don't care, Waffle House, I don't care where it is, right? But there's something about congregating with your family. Blood family, spiritual family, adoptive family, whatever that means to you. And kind of, I don't want to say airing grievances, because it's not about that, but there is something about sort of being honest and speaking truth to power in a way. Speaking truth to power. That's sort of what that feels like. Card 21, add that together, that's a 3. So for some of you, the numbers 4, 1, what was the 6? 4, 1, 6, and 3 might be important to you. And also, this is a little bit of a deep cut, and I'm not an expert on it. You'd have to do your own research and, consider it if it makes sense to you. But some of you are doing generational wounding. You're dealing with that. You're healing that. You're wanting to break that cycle. Again, I don't know what you believe in. I don't know what you've researched so far in terms of your spiritual journey, but there is something to be said about generational inherited wounding and sort of darker issues, or the darker sides of ourselves that need to be brought to the light, that need to be, exposed is kind of a weird word, but basically dealt with. Okay. That's interesting. That's also a deep cut for somebody. For some of you, some really shitty things have happened in your home life, in possibly particularly the family room, the den, the living room, what have you. Some of you might have really awful memories of a particular room in a house that you grew up in, that you visited when you were growing up, something like that. Okay. But let's get some further information with this tarot deck here, please. So, for Sagittarius, further information regarding family room being the central or anchor energy of their purpose at this time. I feel really strongly that a good portion of you, your purpose is to deal with family trauma, generational issues, generational wounding, and or establish something healthy regarding your own family. If you create one, you get married, you have some kids, you adopt kids, whatever, or the family that you make amongst the friends that you bring into your life, or the people that you serve if you are a healer or something like that. If you have no family to speak of, if you don't have really close friends, then your family would be the people that you possibly serve or connect with in your working world. Okay? That's not for everybody. Others of you have different purposes, okay? But for those where that fits, that's what that feel like. Now, let's again get some further information with this tarot deck, please. Clarifying the family room for Sagittarius and their purpose. Please clarify the family room for Sagittarius and their purpose. Why is this the anchor card? Why is this the focus of their purpose at this time, please? Yes, they like that. 1. Yes, thank you. All right, let's see for Sagittarius, please. Ooh, you don't want to say? You don't want to say anything? King of Cups. Nice family room, the central focus here, please, for Sagittarius' purpose at this time. I don't know what that was. Maybe you saw it. One more. And the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Trying to get this straight. There we go. Something like that. So King of Cups was first. And then we had the Five of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. Listen. Listen. Okay. I'm just going to put the dark one out here first. It just like hit me in my face. And that might be very on the nose for some of you because I said it already. For some of you, your purpose is to clear family trauma, family hurt. I did use the word expose. Expose has so many connotations, so many implicit meanings, but I picked this up and I got, just look at the image. So we got the King of Cups, looking a little sully, looking a little saucy, little affected by the sauce. Then we have the Five of Wands, and she looks kind of apprehensive, like, I don't want to be involved in that. She's like defending herself or fending things off. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is about new starts. So I feel for some of you, you are in your family history deeply affected by possibly a drunk, King of Cups, someone who has an alcohol problem or any substance. It doesn't have to be alcohol, but someone who's an addict, somebody who has deep, somebody, not for everyone, but a few of you have someone in your life, possibly still now, or they played a huge role in your life and they were very much an addict, if not still are today. And that possibly came with abuse and trauma in other aspects, if I'm honest, like physical abuse, sexual abuse, okay? And that is being sorted, or that is the central focus of your purpose, is to sort that out, is to heal that in whatever way you can. That's healthy, that's safe, that's progressive, that is evolutionary or revolutionary, what's the word I want? It helps you ascend. Like, not dealing with it in a vengeful way, that I find is counterproductive. I would not advise that, but you make your own choices in this life, okay? But if I'm honest, for a few of you, this is not for everybody, your purpose is to, if not confront the person, confront the events, confront the history of what happened. All those deafening silences that you grew up with or that you witnessed happening to your brother, your sister, your cousin, your mother, your whoever was suffering at the hands of this person, whoever they may be, okay? Even if it doesn't happen to you, it's standing by somebody who went through that experience. Being an ally to them is possibly a part of your purpose. Do you get what I mean? So whoever this is, King of Cups, water sign energy, does not have to be a water sign, but that's, again, what the tarot is associated with. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This person, whoever they are to you, male, female, water sign or not, father figure, mother figure, cousin, I don't care who, best friend. I feel, number one, I'm not a professional, so don't quote me on this, but I personally do not vilify people who have addictions, because they're not all villains, right? And in some of your cases, this person definitely is. If you know that person is a villain, this is not for you. But for some of you, you have somebody who was or is struggling with addiction, or is just sitting in their addiction, not wanting to change it. And it's not that they are trying to hurt you or others on purpose. It's an unfortunate but predictable byproduct of their actions. And I find many addicts that I've talked to and have, relationships with, okay, it's a loathing thing. They don't have self-esteem. They don't value themselves. They feel worthless. They feel helpless. All these things. Versus other addicts that I've come across, have been related to, okay, who were absolutely just like reveling in it, gave no fucks, had no remorse. This person, not in all of your cases, but this person is coming through in some of your cases as having remorse but feeling helpless. Wishing they were different but not understanding, not believing, not pursuing anything to change it. They just, it is what it... I hate that phrase with a lot of I hate that phrase for so many reasons, but that's sort of their take on it. It is what it is. And I can't stand that phrase. And if you've been with me for a while, you've probably seen me flip out over that. And I hate when it comes out because it's not me. I don't believe in that. I don't like to phrase those. I don't like to phrase things that way. But this person, that's how they think. It is what it is. And so I feel and for some of you, that could be you, so take it with a grain of salt and put yourself here if you know it's you. In other cases, this person is a piece of work and they mean what they're doing. They intend to be hurtful. They intend to be dismissive. They intend to allow their addiction to rule their life for whatever reason. It makes them feel, in some cases, more powerful. It makes them feel more in control. I don't know the rhymes or the reasons, and I don't know all of the physical or biophysical reasons why people continue with addiction, even though they know it's destroying them. But there's a lot here with whoever this is. You know who they are. If it's you, you know it's you. I don't want to say this person is a lost cause, and maybe they are, because they could be mature woman. They could be, who we were talking about in the beginning, could be the main male. Because again, reconciliation with the main male doesn't mean get back together. It could just be letting bygones be bygones. You know what I mean? So they could be any one of those three people. It really feels like this person is not going to change. Or if they had the opportunity to change, they never took it up. And so now what do you and or other people do? Again, regarding your purpose, Sagittarius, I feel the Five of Wands can talk about conflict, can talk about chaos, can talk about all this, these challenges and things that really bother us, or situations and relationships and conversations that really get up under our skin and really, kind of push our buttons. Is very combative, is traditionally how the Five of Wands feels. If that applies, I feel that combativeness, that, fight or flight kind of feeling, that getting into scraps or arguments with people over nothing, because that's also what happens with the Five of Wands. It can be petty disagreements and arguments. I feel for many of you, that's in the past. And now that you're older, more mature, possibly live away from this person, possibly don't have them around in your life as much as you used to, it's now become more of an aversion energy. Because again, look at how she's posed coming up against these appliances. She looks more, apprehensive and avoidant than she's like, oh, I'm about to take it to this blender. She looks very like, get away from me. Don't come over here, blender. Don't talk to me. And that could be going on for some of you. Like, again, this King of Cups, just as an example, does not have to be, could be main male that we were talking about up here. And again, I feel that this person is trying to mature or has matured and might have apologies, but you might not want their apologies. Do you get me? So just because someone wants an apology, just because someone wants to reconcile, doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And you might have very good reason. This is the person that was abusing me for 10 years of my life, or 15 years of my life, or 48 years. I don't know how long. This is the person that when I, said to them, get help, you've got a problem, they fucking put their fist in my face. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be flippant, because I can see this so clearly, that some of you, this is the abuser, this is the person who was combative with you, and they come back wanting to make amends, and it's sort of too little too late. Because when I asked about it 4 years ago, you had a big fucking problem with it and you smashed my face in. Or you had a big and it doesn't have to be physical, but for some of you, it might have been. Okay? So if it wasn't physical abuse or sexual abuse, it was verbal or emotional, or it was dismissive. Like, again, that's the other thing. And this goes both ways. It doesn't have to be that this person is rotten and they deserve to be shunned. No, this person could, like I said before, I understand because I've talked to people who are like this and I understand it. This person could be full of self-loathing, be totally just like has no love for themselves. They have no value of themselves. And you could have, this whole time that you've known them, as a friend, a family member, a lover, whatever, been their cheerleader, Sagittarius. Come on, get yourself together. Come on, let's do this, let's do that. Trying to suggest all the ways for them to become a healthier, more balanced person. And they rejected you every time. Right? So now you might have an aversion of extending yourself, of reaching out and helping this person when maybe before they rejected your offer of help, or they took your offer of help, but they squandered it. Because we talked a lot, especially in the first position, about money, or at least this prospect of resources and no longer having enough, or not showing up when people expect you to show up. And Mature Woman gave me this vibe of money or material entanglements in some type of way. Ace of Pentacles right next door. Regardless of which way this falls or how this shakes out for you, Aquarius, not Aquarius, Sagittarius, my bad. You could be dealing with an Aquarius now that it slipped. But for you, Sagittarius, I feel the name of the game is a clean slate. Whether or not that means you walk forward with these people or that particular person or whoever in your life or not. This is for you. This is for you. So I meant literally this tarot card is for you. But that connotation, or the connotation with that phrasing is this is for you, comes with like the connotation of gift giving. There's a connotation of being provided for. It feels very, though, for the self. So this is the chance, the opportunity for you to give yourself a gift. For some of you, the gift that you need to give to to yourself is healing family trauma, is healing generational wounding. That's the gift you are meant to give yourself. Because again, that's what this is the area that we're talking about, your purpose. And to go a little bit deeper into that, like Sag, I feel like in some of your cases, especially if this is a family dynamic, like you might be the only one wanting to do this. If you've got brothers and sisters, you're the only one being vocal about what Uncle Billy or Aunt, Jillian or whoever was doing to you as a kid. If you are, the auntie in the family, and you know that your sister or your brother or whoever was getting the daylights knocked out of them by their spouse, the King of Cups, you're the only one who's willing to sort of bring that secret to the family room and talk about it or confront it. Because again, that's the other thing. I mean, even though Five of Wands is, again, on its face, and the visual is very full of aversion, it's like someone saying, oh, I don't want to engage with that too much. I take it specifically, I don't want to engage with this person the way that I've engaged with this person before. If this person has abused me directly, I don't want that in my life anymore. If this person has been taking me for granted, I don't want that anymore. If I've been holding this person's secrets and we're all biting our tongues and we're all rolling our eyes when this person gets going, knowing that they're a piece of work, knowing that it's like it stops here. And the gift is being free of that bullshit. Even if it means standing on that principle or standing on that motivation on your own. Like, I really get in some of your cases, Sagittarius, you're the only one in the family, you're the only one in the circle of friends who wants to sit and say, you know what? This all is fucked up. And here's why. And here's what I'm prepared to do to no longer be a part of that fucked up energy. Right? If you... It's a tough road, I gotta tell you. But I feel that for some of you, that's part of your purpose. That's part of the contract that you've signed on a spiritual level, is to be the person to come clean it up. Because I mean, also look at that. She's averting. She's full of aversion. But look, she's carrying 5 feather dusters. What do you do with a feather duster? You clean up shit. So, let's go on to your final position here. This is for soul connections, position number 5. So if you have any soul connections to speak of, no matter the type, soulmate, karmic partners, twin flames, anything, any label you want to put on it. If you have one or more to speak of, what is the central focus? I cannot talk today. What is the central focus of those relationships or that particular relationship? What is the anchoring energy? Interesting thoughts. Thoughts. Card 16, add that together. That becomes a 7. So that could be important to you, the number 16 or the number 7. All right. That's very interesting. I was so used to like seeing people. I mean, there's still people here, but the connotation is not about the man or the woman in the painting. It's more about, thinking. So 1 second. Excuse me. Thoughts. Central focus of your soul connection. So for some of you, possibly for the first time, thinking about that. Do I have a soulmate? Is that person my soulmate? Is it him? Is it her? Do I have more than one? You do. At least in my estimation, but you don't have to agree with me. But in my opinion, everybody has multiple soulmates. Whether or not we ever meet them or meet them and acknowledge them as that, that's a whole different story. You're likely to meet them, even if you never acknowledge it. And maybe that's what this is. Acknowledging the soul connections that you have. Whether it be with one particular person who's on your mind, because as we see, he has painted a portrait of someone. So he has one particular, God, this focus today, I swear. Let me try one more thing. Late in the game here. No, that was wrong. All right. So one person who's the central focus because he's painted a portrait of her, right? So you might be like me and think, oh, I've got multiple soulmates. But you're thinking, is it this person, this specific person? Are they one of my soulmates? Or this is your first time thinking about it, period. I'm also getting remembrance. And it's sort of bringing me back to what we were talking about a little bit with the first position, where you may have had people who have passed away from your life or who might be, soon going, passing away or something like that. And you might be thinking, is that person my soulmate? And that could, be a very big motivator in whether or not we reconcile, whether or not we have hard conversations with other family members or friends. But there's a lot to consider. Yeah, you're considering a lot in terms of how you connect with other people, period, or particularly one person, okay? And again, soulmates, as I mentioned earlier in the reading, do not have to be romantic. And they do not always have to be the most positive relationships that you have in your life. Depending on what you agreed to before you incarnated here, your soul contract could come with a lot of bumps and a lot of bruises. And I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm not saying you're just supposed to sit there and take it if you've been dealing with people who are abusive. No, it's just to understand that there's a lesson in that. That's what soulmates are here for us, to provide us with lessons, to help us grow, to help us ascend on a spiritual level. And some of us, for some reason, a part of our soul's journey involves some, not so nice interminglings with others. I myself have had some not so nice interminglings with people. Would I have preferred not to? Sure. My little human self is like, I could have done without that. But my spiritual self is very much, but I get it. I see the lesson there. I see the pattern that I'm working through. So I get it. But would I have preferred? I mean, I hope my soul has taken notes for the next time around. Listen, We've had our fill of that. We don't need any more of that. Next time, let's just have a nice little sunshiny soulmate experience. How about that? Okay? So I just want you to know, like, I'm not over here going, everybody should, who's going a rough road should just, like, love it or just sit there and take it. No. Come on. Anyway, let's get some clarification on this. Why is thoughts, ooh, Lord, why is thoughts the central focus of Sagittarius' soul connections at this time? Why is this card here? Please clarify for us. Why is thoughts the central focus, the anchor energy at this time? Ooh, last one. That fell directly to the floor, right beneath me. It's actually on my foot, but I gotta pause in order to get it. So 1 second. All right, Sagittarius, we had this fall to the floor. I picked it up like that. We're gonna look at it, but I don't think we're gonna take it. Is that right? Yeah, we'll look at it, but we're not gonna take it. The Lovers. For some of you, one of your soulmates is a lover or somebody who you have a strong romantic bond with, even if you never were lovers. That's kind of how that's coming across. Interesting. So like, you know, a long time crush or something like that. But let's shuffle because I wasn't like fully ready. I was like getting ready and then the card fell. So I don't know. I might pull it back out in case I feel compelled that we have to, you know, get more about that, or it might come back out on its own. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it, please. Let's clarify the thoughts card for Sagittarius. Why is it here? Please verify, please clarify why the thoughts card is here for Sagittarius. I don't know what's up with my mouth today. I cannot speak. Why is thoughts here? Central focus to their soul connections at this time. 10 of Wands, got it. Hermit again. One more, please. One more for thoughts. Why is the card here? And the Six of Wands. Okay. 10 of Wands. My God, the camera is like so far away from my hand today. Hermit. And Six of Wands. Number one, I'm being super quiet because this person on the 10 of Wands, they're studying late at night under a lamp. And the Hermit is a very quiet energy. And thoughts. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us, when we're deep in thought, we tend to be quiet. So, Sag, you and or this person might have a very naturally quiet disposition. You might keep a lot of things held back. You might internalize things possibly to your detriment or their detriment, whoever it is. You know, I'm not sure who you both might be mixing in this energy, or again, one of you might hold these energies and these attributes more predominantly than the other, okay? But 10 of Wands, the Hermit, and the 6 of Wands. A lot of overcoming is super important to this soul connection, whatever it is, whoever it is. There's a lot of overcoming. That's a part of the story here. 10 of Wands, we carry a burden willfully until the work is complete. You know, this person on this card illustrated, maybe you met them in school, studying hard, or they're a student now, you're a student now, something like that. Could be an unofficial scholar, so maybe somebody who reads a lot, who has a lot of, you know, sort of random knowledge. Like they could be a great Jeopardy contestant. They just have like a world of knowledge in their brain, right? Or, you know, to be totally stereotypical, they could be a big old nerd. And that's not, I'm an unofficial nerd. I think I'm like an outcast, but whatever. So this person is either traditionally very smart, or they're very quiet, slightly reclusive. And that can be a burden in its own way. I mean, I just, again, used a very stereotypical, possibly offensive word by saying nerd. But that, again, I'm like somewhat of a nerd myself. That can be very painful, stressful, burdensome with the Ten of Wands. To be that throughout school, to be that possibly out in your adulthood, to be socially awkward, to be socially inept, or to not really have sort of this normal way of speaking, behaving, working, studying. I mean, if we go with sort of what this imagery is giving us, if this is a student, I mean, in especially in American culture, but it's different in other parts of the world. Students, high school and up, aren't known to be cracking the books to the crack of dawn. It's just not a typical image of students in our culture, okay? For good or for worse. We can all have our opinions about it, but that's not typical. So since it's not typical, this image of this person means they're doing something different than other people. They're abnormal, so to speak. Atypical, so to speak. Okay? Interesting. Atypical is a show on Netflix, and that show is about a student. He's in high school going to college or something like that. And he has autism. Maybe this person is autistic. I'm not trying to say this. I don't think of it this way, but that could be this person's perception or your perception of that person. If they do have something going on with their behavioral, whether they have behavioral diagnoses, whether they are socially awkward or inept in some type of way, that could be seen as a burden. And there could be a lot of thought about that. Here we go again. I'm right back over here with mature woman and that mommy thing. Okay, so just to paint this real quick with like a really stereotypical, and it might not apply to you, but I hope you can follow my logic here. Let's say again, mature woman has a lot of opinions about who is the comings and the goings in your life, Sagittarius, right? And maybe you're in thought about this Ten of Wands character who you're like, is that my soulmate? Is this someone I have a deep soul connection with of some type and it's significant to me? Mature woman might have many opinions about this person because they are abnormal, atypical. They in this person's opinion, come with burden. If you pursue them, which you're thinking about, if you connect with them, which you're thinking about, if you acknowledge how important this person is into your life, you invite in burden. That could be what mature woman is warning you about, which again could filter back to Ten of Wands person, could be mature male, or excuse me, not mature male, main male, excuse me. So let's paint it with like, a dramatic brush here. You're the popular kid in school, right? In college or whatever. And your mom or your dad loves that you're like the star hockey player or the star football player, or you're the prettiest cheerleader on the team, whatever. Because again, mature woman is very materialistic, very what looks good on the package, what looks good in a photo. That's that type of energy coming from mature woman, okay? And you as their child, male or female, doesn't matter. They want you to be well matched with someone who looks good in a photo. Typically, insert teen drama movie wherever, whenever you want. The person that looks like this, who has value, who clearly has so many attributes that are going for them, typically don't look good in the package. Doesn't look good in the family photo. And mature woman over here might have lots of opinions about this person. And I told you, I said that before. Main male. Y'all could have been Six of Cups is here. Boom, Six of Cups. Y'all could have known each other, this soulmate, for some of you since you were kids. And you've gone your separate ways, you've become adults. And now you're thinking, maybe you're reconnecting with this person. Maybe you're seeing them on social media. You're like, oh my God, look what happened to Kathy. Oh my God, look what happened to Kevin. Aren't these, wow, 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 ugly duckling turns into a swan. That type of shit, right? There's something about reemerging, like carrying a burden willfully, and that not being the end all be all of somebody's character, their trajectory, their story. There's something about evolution here, or what's that called? Blooming. Yeah? And you think about it. You're thinking about this person. Wow, interesting. Hermit and Six of Wands. And then we're going to finish because we've gone on for a long time. But anyway, well, these are going to be long anyway. So Hermit energy, again, major arcana for Virgo. Could be a Virgo that you're dealing with, but does not have to be. I feel you and or they, again, healing, dealing with deep, dark, not so nice feelings or issues in our lives, which we talked about mostly here with your purpose energy, right? With the family room and everything that we said there. So that could be you, it could be them. You could be both doing it in your own way regarding your own individual lives. Like maybe that's how you reconnect. Maybe that's how you connect for the first time if you've never met this person. Maybe for some of you, there are support programs that you're going into. Because again, the Hermit is about healing. Legit. Here we go. I'm going to talk about it. Sixth house energy, because that's where Virgo lives in the sixth house, deals with all kinds of things regarding caretaking. And caretaking is both physical, mental, and emotional. So maybe some of you are in a survivor's support group and your soulmate or one of them resides within that group or visits that group or is a part of the message board or part of, some type of public relations campaign or something like that. And that's how you guys intersect, is because you have a common shared trauma story. Listen, I'm not saying co-signing that that's where all true love is made, but that could happen for a few of you. In both of your pursuits of being better or getting better, not being better, but getting better, right? You meet together, you cross paths, and it's like, wow, I never knew another person who's been through XYZ just like I was. Boom, now you're best friends. And again, soulmate relationships, soul connections of any type do not have to be purely romantic. So you and this person share in some darkness. Hermit. Maybe you meet each other in your darkest periods or your darkest time together, right? Maybe you legit meet in a hospital. Because, what were we talking about in the beginning? Bad health. What's on that card? Very hospital-ish, hospital-esque, yeah? So you and this person, it makes sense. That's the premise of soul relationships. You have commonality that transcends anything external, which is to the disappointment of mature woman over here, because all mature woman cares about, I don't care who they are in your life, they only care about what's on the package, what's on the surface. This person don't go deep. Soul relationships, by their nature, go deep, beyond the physical, beyond the surface. And when you dive deep, which is what the Hermit allows you to do, you will realize, possibly you're in deep contemplation about it now, who this person is to you. I feel many of you are really recognizing someone in your life. And hopefully this reading is helping you. Hopefully other things that you're doing in your pursuit of understanding why you and this person connect so well or why you're drawn to them. Now, Six of Wands, very simply, victory. In this deck shows up as being rewarded. So, maybe both of you are, again, I'm getting this, survivor's story. And maybe some of you are going to work together with this person. Maybe you're going to publish something together. Maybe you're going to, go to speaking engagements. And I feel people being really engaged in your mutual story. You both finding mutual success in triumphing over your darkness. That's what this feels like. Now, again, this could be someone you already know. Could be a family member. Could be, God forbid, but these stories happen all the time, where you were abused at the hands of a relative and your cousin or your stepsister or stepbrother or whoever, they had the same experience, but you both didn't know. Like, I never knew Uncle Billy was doing that to you. I didn't know he was doing it to you. Do you get what I mean? Like, anyway, so there's recognition coming out of this. Either you recognize it between the two of you, or it's a public recognition. So again, maybe you're publishing something, maybe you're putting your stories out there online for other people to be able to turn to you as a resource or look to you as a point of inspiration, whatever. There's something about the pair of you after burden, because this isn't just one person. I mean, there is one person on the card. We talked, about this person sort of being a nerd or whatever. But 10 of Wands is burden. 10 of Wands is carrying, not secrets, but I feel in some of your cases it is going to be you've been carrying a secret for years. But carrying burden, carrying difficult things, willfully, or out of this idea of, well, no one else is going to do this, so I have to do it myself. And then eventually letting it go, breath of fresh air kind of energy, relief is what this feels like together, right? And so, I don't know. I feel like Sagittarius, whoever this person is, you guys might walk a very similar path, whether you know it or not. No matter how close this person is to you. You could have, again, grown up in the same household or come around the same relatives, the same people growing up, and you didn't know. I feel some of you will be like really shocked. You too? Hashtag me too, right? There's something in there for you guys regarding that type of connectivity. And again, like I said before, soulmate relationships don't always have to be based on sunshine and rainbows. Sounds crazy, sounds weird, sounds not as desirable, but that's just the way it goes. Sometimes trauma can bring people together, can I don't want to say enlighten you, but it is sort of this springboard into enlightenment, to walk through abusive, traumatic experiences and live to tell the tale, right? That's some type of enlightenment on its own, I feel. Or at least the potential is there, okay? Sagittarius, that is your birthday reading. Wow. What a roller coaster ride, I feel. I feel we've touched on several different sort of nooks and crannies that possibly exist in your story somewhere, in your life story somewhere. So if you liked what you saw here, please hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I would love to read that. I love reading your guys' comments, but a lot of not so nice stuff was here, so I understand if you don't want to share any details. That's perfectly okay. It's always your decision. Please don't say anything in a public forum that you don't want other people to know, okay? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing. For this particular reading, I'll see you in a year for your birthday reading. But Sagittarius, please check your playlist. You will find this reading in there, obviously. You're going to see your mid-November readings. You're going to see your December readings. And eventually, again, on December the 12th, I'm going to go live here on the channel at 7 p.m. So if you have time to stop by and hang out with me on that day to get some free readings by me, feel free to join me, okay? Sagittarius, I thank you all so much for watching. Again, happy birthday. Thank you. Take care.